الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome everybody to our lesson today on Mukhtarat min Adab al-Arab. We're going to begin inshallah ta'ala today with one of the most beautiful books for anyone who wants to develop a strong natural command of the Arabic language. And this book has been carefully created by the Imam Abu al-Hasan al-Nadwi rahimahullahu ta'ala. Before we begin this small sample lesson for the upcoming course inshallah ta'ala, it's very important to understand what makes this book very, very special. Now, what does the word Mukhtarat actually mean? It means selected passages or carefully chosen extracts, right? Now, in the introduction, Imam Abu al-Hasan al-Nadwi rahimahullah, he travelled through the scopes of the Arabic language to select these passages for you. He took from the Quran, he took from the Sunnah, he took from the books of Sir, he took from the books of Tarikh, he took from the books of biographies, wisdom, literature, Adab. And he chose some of the most beautiful passages that he could collect and find and place them in one book. This book is taught in many of the madaris in India and Pakistan. In fact, it's a staple. Your nahu, your sarf, your balagha will now come into play, and this is where the playing field is, the books of Adab. You will go through this book and find that the Arabic language is a vast ocean without a shore. The richness of the Arabic language is something that a human may not appreciate until he's really delved into it, applying every rule that he's able to, and naturally allowing the language to immerse within his own soul. For the non-native speaker, this is crucial. It's very crucial. I studied this book with one of the students of Imam Abu al-Hasan al-Nadwi, and I tell you firsthand that this book, it changed my whole perception of what the Arabic language truly is. Because when you're listening, when you're reading, when you're delving deep, you start to understand why the predecessors were so strong in the Arabic language and why we are so weak in the Arabic language. It's nothing to do with anything but of how they were able to use the Arabic language. They spoke with emotion, right? I don't want to get too deep into the reason, inshallah. When we start our lessons, I'll get into that as well. So my approach, inshallah ta'ala, in this sample lesson, this taster lesson, is basically as my approach is to most when I'm teaching Arabic, is that I have a hands-on approach, a practical approach. I will read the passage. I will then translate the passage. Then I will work through sentence by sentence. We will explore important vocabulary, grammar, morphology, structure, sentence structures, and some of the stylistic features, balagha points that we can extract, and what gives this particular piece its beauty, its power, right? Now the objective it's not for you to finish this book. Inshallah we will through the course, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. But throughout your journey in this book, the objective is to acquire this beautiful language naturally. Allow it to become part of you. You have to reread the passages over and over again until they become ingrained into your very soul. Every sentence or vocabulary that you come across that you don't know, this is you increasing in your zawq of the Arabic language. Your understanding of grammar, of sarf, will now beautify itself, because now you're going to put it into action. You're going to practically apply everything that you've learned, inshallah. So with the help of Allah, let us begin our journey, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Now this passage is from Akhlaqul Mu'min, and this passage is from Ibn al-Jawzi's book on his biography of Al-Hasan al-Basri rahimahullah ta'ala. And we're only just going to read from let's have a look. We'll read from here, inshallah, هيهات to hey inshallah. Okay? And bi'ithnillah, we will learn a lot bi'ithnillah ta'ala. Okay, let's read. Hayhata hayhata. Now I'm going to translate. And when I translate, try to make sense of why I translated the way I did. I'm going to come back to all this and we're going to break it down further, okay? Hayhata hayhata. Far away, far away. Far, far away. أهلك الناس الأماني. False hopes have ruined people. قول بلا عمل. Words without action. ومعرفة بغير صبر. Knowledge without patience. وإيمان بلا يقين. And faith without certainty. ما لي أرى رجالا ولا أرى عقولا. Why is it that I see men, yet I do not see rational minds? وأسمع حسيسا. I hear faint voices. ولا أرى أنيسا. But I don't see no true companions. دخل القوم والله ثم خرجوا. The people entered, يعني Islam, but by Allah they then left. وعرفوا ثم أنكروا. They knew, they came to know, but they then denied. وحرموا ثم استحلوا. They declared things lawful. They declared things unlawful, then made them lawful. إنما دين أحدكم لعقة على لسانه, or لعقة على لسانه. It can be read both ways. Indeed, the religion of one of you is nothing more than a lick upon his tongue. I'm going to explain that phrase to you in a little while, inshallah. إذا سئل, if he's asked, or when he's asked, أمؤمن أنت يوم الحساب? Are you truly a believer in the day of reckoning, hisab? قال نعم. He says, yes. كذب. He's lying. ومالك يوم الدين. He's lying by the master of the day of judgment. إن من أخلاق المؤمن قوة في دين. Among the qualities of the believer are strength in religion. وهزما في دين. Determination with gentleness. وإيمانا في يقين. And faith with certainty. وعلما في حلم. And knowledge with forbearance. وحلما بعلم. And forbearance with knowledge. وقيس في رفق. And intelligence with rifq, يعني kindness. وتجملا في فاقة. And dignified or beautifying yourself in times of poverty. وقسطا في غنى. And being moderate in times of wealth. وشفقة في نفقة. And having compassion in spending. ورحمة لمجهود. and mercy towards those who are mercy towards those who are exhausted, those who are burdened, those who have become tired. وعطاء في الحقوق, and giving people their due right. وإنصافا في استقامة, and fairness, being fair and just in remaining upright, or while remaining upright. لا يحيف على من يبغض. He does not act with evil or unjust upon somebody who he dislikes or is angered with or has hatred towards. طيب. Now I'm going to stop there. So now I'm going to go through, inshallah, some of the lessons we can learn, and obviously the vocabulary and how we can improve our Arabic, inshallah. Okay, so I said at the beginning, Imam al-Hasan al-Basri mentioned, he said hayhata hayhata. Now hayhata is actually ismu fi'l ma'adin bima'na ba'ud. Ba'uda. It actually means, if I just write it here, ba'uda. Ba'uda basically means becomes distant, impossible, far-fetched. Right? Hayhata hayhata. It adds emphasis, astonishment. It's actually used in the Quran. It's actually used in the Quran. In I think Surah al Hayhata hayhata lima tu'adun. What you are promised is far-fetched, very far-fetched. Right? He goes here. أهلك الناس الأماني. Why did I read أهلك الناس الأماني? Shouldn't it be الناس الأمانية? This is what you have to ask yourself now, the questions. These are the questions that I'm going to be asking you. Why am I reading it a certain way? This is how you're going to read without tashkil. Tashkil is not here to help you. So now you have to understand patterns and understand what's going on with the verb, with the fa'il, with the maf'ul bihi. أهلك الناس الأماني. False hopes have destroyed the people. Right? Okay, let's go through this a bit deeper now. Just everybody can understand. أهلك. أهلك. That comes from the root. Sorry, that was horrendous. I'm writing on this pad, so okay, I'll just do it. So it's actually form 4, which is أهلك يهلك إهلاقا. Right? Now, if I was to say, as an example, حلق الرجل. If I was to say that. What does that mean? حلق الرجل. حلق الرجل. That basically means the man perished. Right? Now, because this is a form 4 verb, أفعل, it requires an object. This doesn't require an object. Okay? The man perished. حلق الرجل. Now, if I was to say أهلق الشيء, right? أهلك الشيء الرجل. If I was to say that, because this is the form 4. Okay? Right? That's the normal. أهلك. This requires a maf'ul bihi, an object. Right? The thing destroyed the man. Now, if we didn't have that, it'd be أهلك الشيء, the thing destroyed. What does it destroy? It has to have an object, right? Same thing here. أهلك الناس الأماني, right? Halaka means he perished, and ahlaka means he caused someone to perish. What caused the people to perish? What caused the people to perish? It was al-amaniyu, wishful thinking, right? So this is the fa'il, but this is the fa'il mu'akhar, and this is the maf'ul muqaddam. Right? If we were to say أهلك الناس الأمانية, what would that mean? That would entail that the people have destroyed false hope. That was incorrect. Rather, it is false hope that has destroyed the people, right? So don't fall into that trap and thinking that straight away the file is going to be there. That's not the case. Okay, hope we understood that. Right, back to it. Okay, al-amaniyu is basically the singular is umniyatun, right? Let me just write that out for you. It's slow because I have this new writing tool I'm using, and just getting used to it. Umniyatun, right? And the plural is amaniyu, right? So basically means wishful thinking, hopes which are without any sort of pedigree, empty hopes basically, right? So then he gets into what is this? Why? What's going on? Let's have a look. He says, قول بلا عمل, قول بلا عمل, words without action. And this is the explanation of al-amaniyu, what this false hope actually looks like, right? Everybody knows قال. Everyone knows what this is. قال يقول قولا, right? قال يقول قولا. Okay. قول بلا عمل, بلا عمل. It's a very, very useful sort of expression to have that, right? Because you can say, we can change it around, as I like to do in a lot of the things, is that I like to use the same structures and add different variations, right? We can say علم بلا عمل, right? Knowledge without action. We can say عمل بلا بلا إخلاص, right? Action without sincerity. All right. Then he says, وَمَعْرِفَةٌ بِغَيْرِ صَبْرٍ. معرفة. معرفة comes from the verb عرفة يعرف. يعرف معرفة means basically knowledge gained through knowledge that's been gained, right? بغير صبر, يعني without patience, right? ومعرفة بغير صبر. Now, yeah, I'll just do that. Okay. So so if I ask you, why is, and these are the questions I will be asking inshallah, why is sabrin like this? Why is it a kasratain? Why is it in the state of majroor? You have to answer that question, right? This is mudaf ilayh. This is mudaf ilayh, right? Right? بغير حق. This is a nice thing to have in your speech. بغير حق, without right. بغير دليل, without evidence. بغير علم, without knowledge. وإيمان بلا يقين, and faith without certainty. يعني what is yaqeen? Yaqeen is basically, if we were to define it, yaqeen, because the English language doesn't do it justice, we all know this. We can say al-ilm, الذي لا شك فيه. العلم الذي لا شك فيه, right? Al-ilm is that which is there is no doubt. Sorry, yaqeen means there is no doubt in it. Right, so far we've got قول بلا عمل, معرفة بغير صبر, وإيمان بلا يقين, right? طيب, then he goes, ما لي أرى رجالا ولا أرى عقولا. What is the matter with me that I see men and I see no rational minds? Or we can also say, how is it that I see men but I see no intellect? Mali. This is very common. Basically means, because this ma is istifham here, so this construction here is very nice. Mali. Basically, what is wrong with me? Why is it that how is it that it's a question, right? So you can say, here's some examples that you can memorize. ما لي لا أفهم. ما لي لا أفهم. Why is it that I don't understand? What's wrong with me that I don't understand? If you were to be speaking to somebody, you say, ما لك ساكتا. ما لك ساكتا. Why are you silent? If you're speaking to a group of people, you can say, ما لهم لا يتكلمون. ما لهم لا يتكلمون. Right? What is wrong with them that they don't speak? Right? Okay, it's a very, very common Arabic expression. Then he says, أرى. We all know أرى. رأى, يرى, رؤية. Right? يرى, رجالا. So the objects, where's the objects? I want to ask, where's the objects? Where's the object of أرى? رجلا, right? Sorry, رجالا. مفعول به منصوب. And also, this is عقولا, right? This is also a object of أرى. عقل, عقول. The meaning is that they literally have no sense. Their bodies, they resemble men, but their behavior doesn't show any sort of intellect. طيب. He says, وأسمع حسيسا ولا أرى أنيسا. I hear a faint sound, and I don't see a companion, and I see no true companion. So, hasisan basically means صوت خفي. صوت خفي, a faint sound. And anis is actually a companion, another word for companion. But this is somebody who brings you a lot of comfort, right? And it comes from the root anasa. And that it has a sort of, Anasa actually feels like familiarity, a comfort, companionship, right? So look at, as you can see the beauty here, hasisan, anisan, right? Their meanings are different, but the sounds are the same, right? There is noise, but there's no meaningful human presence to bring comfort, right? دخل القوم والله ثم خرجوا. By Allah, the people entered and then left. Islam, right? Now we all know the fa'il here is al-qawm. دخل القوم والله ثم خرجوا. There's wallahi, this is waw qasam. And it's majroor because of the waw. Yani, the oath that is taken. The meaning is uqsimu billah, I swear by Allah. And it's placed right bang on in the middle. Why? It's to strengthen the statement. It could have been at the beginning, but here it brings another sort of emphasis to it. دخل القوم والله ثم خرجوا. طيب. I hope everybody's getting that so far. وعرفوا ثم أنكروا. They recognize, they understood, they know what Islam is, they know what Iman is, but they denied. عرف يعرف أنكروا أنكر ينكر إنكارا, from form 4, to deny, to reject. Tamam. They knew, they've got the recognition that this is the religion of Islam, this is Iman, but they denied it. وحرموا ثم استحلوا. They declared things haram. Then those things that they perceived as haram, they made into halal. حرموا, from حرم يحرم تحريما, form 2. To make something forbidden, basically, yeah. ثم استحلوا. استحل يستحل, from form 10. طيب. Now, if we were to say, for example, okay, right. إنما دين أحدكم لعقة or لعقة على لسانه. The religion of one of you is just, it goes no deeper than his tongue, basically. إنما is أداة الحصر, right? The ma here, it restricts the effect of inna, right? And it's very famous, we all know how famous إنما الأعمال بالنيات is, right? As the hadith states. So, how would we do the i'rab here? إنما دين أحدكم لعقة على لسانه. Here, this is the mubtada. Okay, this is the mubtada. أحدكم, and it is mudaf. That's why I read it as أحدكم. Right, مضاف إليه. Now here, لعقة. لعقة basically is from لعك يلعق. لعك. لعق يلعق. يلعق basically means to lick, right? لعقة is that one lick, right? So his religion doesn't go past his tongue, basically. It's just mere foreplay, it's just mere wordplay, it's just mere, it doesn't go past his throat, right? That's what his Imam al-Hasan al-Basri is saying. It doesn't go past their throat. إذا سئل, and if he's asked, سئل. Now here, the سئل is a, what do we call it? فعل ماض مبني للمجهول, right? If he's asked. We don't know by who, but if he's asked. Now, if it was, this is passive, we say this is passive, right? If it was active, how would we say it? How would we question? We'd say, سأل شخص أحدهم. Someone asked one of them. سئل أحدهم. One of them was asked. Right? The doer, the fa'il, is not mentioned because the focus is upon the person being questioned. Whenever he is asked, أَمُؤْمِنٌ أَنْتَ يَوْمَ الْحِسَابِ, are you a believer? You truly believe in the day of reckoning, right? Now you're going to find sometimes in newer books, right? You don't really find, in newer books you find a lot of, what do we call it in English, punctuation. Here you won't. Look at this. إِذَا سُئِلَ أَمُؤْمِنٌ أَنْتَ. Sometimes you have to figure out where to stop, what not to stop, where to stop, what's been said. You have to keep up with these old books, right? And old passages. All right. أَمُؤْمِنٌ أَنْتَ بِيَوْمِ الْحِسَابِ. So, what is ante? And what is mu'min here? Here, this mu'min is actually the khabar. Khabar. What is khabar muqaddam? It's been brought forward. And ant is actually the mubtada. Mubtada. Mu'akhar. But here it's been delayed. So the underlying structure is anta mu'min. So when the hamza, hamzatul istifham, the question is asked, mu'minun anta. This order, this word order, it emphasizes. It emphasizes on the claim of being a believer. Are you a mu'min? Yawm al-hisab. Yawmal. Why did I say yawmal? Why not yawmul? Yawmal because it's a zarfu zaman mansub. And hisabi is mudafun ilayhi majrur. And he says, قال نعم كذب ومالك يوم الدين. قال نعم. He replies, yes. كذب, he's lied by the master of the day of judgment. This is the answer of the person being questioned. This is Al-Hasan al-Basri rahimahullah's judgment upon this person. He's lied, he's lying. No. طيب. إن من أخلاق المؤمن قوة في دينه. Indeed, among the characteristics of the believer is strength in religion. Inna, we all know inna is a particle of emphasis, and nasb, that which comes after it, will be in a state of nasb, right? Inna min akhlaq al-mu'min, right? Quwwatan. Why is it quwwatan fi dinin? Because this is the ismu inna, which has been delayed. So, the min akhlaq al-mu'min is actually the khabaru inna, muqaddam. And the quwwatan here, quwwatan, this is the ismu inna, that is mu'akhar. طيب منصوب. طيب. Now وحزما في دين. قوة في دين, strength in religion, we said. وحزما في لين, يعني determination or decisiveness with gentleness, right? Now why is it hazman? Because this here is ma'tuf of what? Of quwwa. تمام? وإيمانا في يقين. Again, iman, ma'tuf of this, and this goes back to this, right? You have to keep up with the pronunciation correctly, otherwise you'll get lost, right? You're probably asking, why is this imanan? Why is it hazman? Because you have to always remember of the rule of ma'tuf, right? وعلما في حلم وحلما بعلم وكيسا في رفق, right? Now, Kays actually means somebody who's yani zaki, intelligent, perceptive, right? Gentleness in dealing with people with intelligence, right? He's clever. The believer is, a mu'min is somebody who's clever without being manipulative, right? تجملا في فاقة. Now, tajammulan, it actually means to beautify yourself. And in the state of poverty, he doesn't allow others to recognize that he is in need. But he stands up with dignity. Right? Tajammala, yatajammalu, tajammulan. Composure. He has composure. He has self-respect. Right? Nafaqatun is actually something that you can say somebody who's in desperate need of necessities. Shiddatul hajati wal faqr. Right? But he does not complain. He does not lower himself. Okay. So I'll stop there, inshallah ta'ala. I hope that is enough for convincing everybody, inshallah ta'ala, that this course is for you. This is how you learn Arabic language, through reading with a teacher and then understanding the principles within the actual text itself, memorizing them, and inshallah over time you'll see how strong your Arabic will get, bi'ithnillahi ta'ala. I hope to see you all in the course. I will be a teacher willing to fulfill all needs, inshallah, of my students, bi'ithnillahi ta'ala. And we will start this journey together, as I did, as thousands have done. This book is a very special book, and one of my teachers who teaches in Nadwa, from one of the madaris there, he said that he read this book 15 times. He read this book 15 times. And he goes, I've not had to read other books of Adab after that. This book is not an easy book. But if you're here to challenge, if you're here to improve, this is the place to be. And this is the place where you're going to really, really understand the richness of the Arabic language. And this is where your Arabic will increase 100-fold, inshallah ta'ala, if you stick to the process. وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.